Today, I want to talk about a kind of love that most people receive their entire lives, but never actually recognize. Love that doesn't sound like anything. Love that shows up quietly in the smallest moments, in ways we often mistake for indifference. Are you ready? Let's get into it. There's one memory that still comes back to me when I least expect it. Not because something terrible happened, but because it completely changed the way I understand love. I'm sitting on the cold bathroom floor late at night, knees pulled against my chest, crying so hard I can barely breathe. It had been one of those days where everything went wrong. Work had fallen apart, someone I trusted had disappointed me. By the time I got home, I wasn't looking for solutions. I just wanted someone to sit beside me, someone to say, "You're going to be okay," nothing more. Just a few comforting words. Then he walked in. He looked at me for a few seconds. He didn't rush over. He didn't ask what happened. He simply stood there, almost like he wanted to say something, but couldn't find the words. And then he turned around and walked away. I remember feeling something inside me break. The thought came instantly. He doesn't even care. A few minutes passed. I heard noises from the kitchen, cabinets opening, water boiling. I remember thinking, seriously? He's making himself something to eat? The disappointment only got worse, but after another minute, he walked back in. In one hand, a mug of hot tea, in the other, my favorite blanket. He quietly wrapped the blanket around my shoulders, placed the tea beside me. Then he noticed that little cabinet door I'd been complaining about all week. Without saying anything, he grabbed a screwdriver, knelt down, and fixed it. 3 minutes. Then he looked at me, gave me the smallest smile, and simply said, "It shouldn't bother you anymore." No speech, no emotional conversation. Just tea, a blanket, a repaired cabinet. At the time, I was almost frustrated. I didn't want tea. I didn't care about the cabinet. I wanted words. I wanted someone to tell me everything would be okay. Instead, I got practical help. And to me, those two things felt completely different. For years, I believed that night proved something was missing between us. I told myself, if he really loved me, he would have known exactly what I needed. Years later, that night came back into my mind. Only this time, I wasn't looking at it through hurt. I was looking at it through understanding. And suddenly, I noticed something I had completely missed. He wasn't walking away from my pain. He was doing the only thing he knew how to do, trying to make my world lighter. He couldn't fix what I was feeling inside, but he could make sure I was warm. He could fix the little thing that had been stressing me out all week. That was his instinct. Not because he lacked emotion, but because somewhere along the way he had learned that love meant solving problems. And once I understood that, I started thinking about all the other moments I had misunderstood. The times I thought he wasn't paying attention, when in reality, he had quietly remembered every little thing I'd ever mentioned. The times I thought he wasn't listening, when he had simply chosen to respond with actions instead of conversations. That one night stopped looking like rejection. It started looking like love, just a version of love I had never learned to recognize. Because sometimes love isn't absent. Sometimes it's simply speaking a language we've never been taught to understand. Have you ever looked at someone you loved and quietly wondered, why don't they ever say how they feel? For the longest time, that was exactly how I measured love. If someone said, "I'm proud of you," I felt loved. If they opened up about their emotions, I believed our relationship was healthy. Words were everything to me. So when those words weren't there, my mind automatically filled in the blanks. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're emotionally distant. But here's what I eventually realized. Not everyone was taught that love sounds like something. For a lot of people, especially a lot of men, love isn't something they say. It's something they build. It's something they quietly do every single day. Psychologists talk about something called love languages, the idea that different people naturally express love in different ways. some through words, some through quality time, some through physical affection. And then there are people whose love language is acts of service. Instead of saying, "I love you," they ask, "Did you eat?" Instead of saying, "I'm worried about you," they quietly check your tires before a long trip. Instead of saying, "I don't want you to struggle," they carry the heavy bags without being asked. It's not that one language is better than another. The problem starts when two people speak completely different languages without realizing it. Imagine someone handing you a handwritten love letter written in a language you've never learned. To them, every sentence is filled with love. To you, it's just symbols on paper. Neither person is wrong. The message simply gets lost in translation. That's exactly what happens in so many relationships. One person keeps saying, "Tell me you love me." The other keeps thinking, "I've been showing you every day." Both people feel misunderstood. Both people feel unappreciated. And neither realizes they're standing in the same room trying to say the exact same thing, just with completely different words. Or sometimes without words at all. Maybe it's your father, the one who almost never said, "I love you." But somehow your bicycle was always repaired before you even realized it was broken. Your school fees were paid on time. The car always had gas. The house always felt safe. As children, we often think those things simply happen. As adults, we realize someone quietly made them happen. And sometimes that someone never once said how much they loved us. They simply spent their entire lives proving it. I want to be clear about something. Words still matter. Healthy relationships need honesty, vulnerability, and the moments when someone simply says, "I'm here." Sometimes a hug heals more than advice. Sometimes sitting beside someone in silence means more than fixing every problem in the room. Everyone deserves to hear, "I love you," and "I'm proud of you." Those words matter more than we sometimes realize. Love isn't supposed to be a choice between actions and words. The healthiest relationships eventually learn both. Actions tell us love is real. Words remind us we're not imagining it. And when those two things come together, people stop guessing. They stop wondering where they stand. They simply feel safe. But understanding someone's language doesn't mean settling for less. It means learning to read what's already being said. But here's where I had to confront something uncomfortable about myself. For years, I wasn't actually looking for love. I was looking for a very specific version of love. One that matched the picture I'd created in my head. I kept score, but only on the things I understood. Every sentence he didn't say, I counted. Every emotional conversation he struggled to have, I noticed. But do you know what I didn't count? The mornings he woke up before me to make coffee because he knew I had an early meeting. The nights he stayed awake until I got home safely, pretending he wasn't tired anyway. The way he'd quietly refill my water bottle before bed because he knew I'd forget. The groceries he'd pick up without me asking because he noticed we were running low. The phone charger he'd leave in my bag because I always forgot mine. The way he'd stand on the outside of the sidewalk whenever we walked together. None of those moments fit my definition of romance, so I treated them like ordinary habits. They were anything but ordinary. They were tiny decisions, repeated every single day. And maybe that's what love really is. Not the grand gestures we remember once a year, but the quiet choices someone keeps making when nobody is watching. One moment especially stays with me. My car had been making a strange clicking noise for weeks. I kept meaning to get it checked. Life got busy, I forgot. One evening, I casually mentioned it while we were making dinner, not because I expected him to fix it, just because I was thinking out loud. He nodded. The conversation lasted maybe 15 seconds. A few days later, I got into the car, started the engine, silence. The noise was gone. When I asked him about it later, he shrugged. Yeah, I took care of it. No dramatic reveal, no expectation of praise, just, "I took care of it." That sentence stayed with me for a long time, because hidden inside those 4 simple words was something much bigger. I listened. I remembered. I wanted one less thing weighing on your mind. That's what he was really saying. And somehow, I had spent years waiting for different words. Then another thought hit me, one I wasn't prepared for. While I was busy feeling unloved, I wonder how often he felt unseen. Imagine giving someone your very best every single day, carrying the groceries, fixing broken things, remembering details nobody else notices, only to keep hearing, "You don't care." That has to hurt, more than most people realize, because eventually people stop feeling appreciated. Then they stop trying. Not because the love disappeared, because they start believing nothing they do will ever be enough. 2 people standing right beside each other, both desperately trying to love one another, both secretly feeling invisible. Not because they lack love, but because neither one recognizes the other's language. The older I get, the less interested I become in asking, how does this person say they love me? Instead, I ask, how do they consistently show up? Because anyone can say beautiful things when life is easy. Consistency is harder. Paying attention is harder. Remembering the small details months later, that's hard. Making someone else's day a little lighter without expecting recognition, that's hard too. The truth is, love often looks ordinary while you're living it. You don't always notice it in the moment. Sometimes you only recognize it years later, when you remember who quietly stayed, who quietly helped, who quietly carried things you didn't even realize were heavy. Don't just listen for love, look for it. So if there's someone in your life, a partner, your father, your brother, someone who's never been very expressive, before deciding they don't care, pause. Ask yourself, have I been looking only for the kind of love I understand? Or have I also been paying attention to the love they've been quietly giving all along? That single question has the power to change relationships. It certainly changed mine. Love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's almost invisible, until you finally learn how to see it. So before you leave, think about someone who's loved you, a partner, a parent, a grandparent, maybe someone who's no longer here. What's one quiet thing they did that you didn't fully appreciate until much later? Something that seemed ordinary at the time, but today you realize that was love. Share your story in the comments. I genuinely read every single one. And I think someone else reading your story might realize they've been loved in that exact same quiet way too. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people who quietly take care of you. And I'll see you in the next one.